whatever that means. Normal. Who knows? Right, we're going to start with transfers. Dominoes are falling into place ahead of what could be the biggest transfer saga of the summer. Real Madrid, not for the first time, are at the heart of it all. So too is Chris Reedy, and he's going to explain everything because there's, like I said, lots of things to get into place, isn't there? We've got Vinicius Jr, we've got Yann Diomande, we've also got Arsenal. So do the jigsaw. Yes,
so Yann Diomande, he might be wearing a white shirt by the end of this week, but could Vinicius Jr be wearing a red one? I guess that's what all Premier League fans, well, some, maybe not Spurs, most Premier League fans would like. But look, let's talk about Yann Diomande. Real Madrid are in pole position to get this signing done from RB Leipzig. At the moment, they've had about €100 million proposal turned down, but at the moment, like I said, they are the team that's in pole position. We know that Liverpool have previously been interested, Man City as well. PSG withdrew from the race on Sunday, citing that the transfer fee is too big. That's not how they do business anymore. The likes of Messi, Neymar, that transfer strategy's gone. So it looks pretty clear with Diomande. He has been training with RB Leipzig today. He's still very much their player, but at the moment, like I said, Real Madrid in pole position. Now, what does that mean for this man? One of the biggest stars in global football, Vinicius Jr. Can Real Madrid see a world? Can Jose Mourinho see a world where these two fit in together? That all depends on if a new contract can be signed, because he's got 1 year left on his deal. What we do know is that Real Madrid do not want to let him go for free at the end of the season, which makes sense because you're talking about a £100 million player, maybe even more. Some reports out there saying that Vinicius Jr is rated at around £200 million. The only thing with that is he's got that year left on his deal. So obviously a deal you'd think would be able to be brought down lower than that. But like I said, they are in talks at the moment, Real Madrid and Vinicius Jr. But they're not just recent talks. These talks have been ongoing for a while. We know big clubs like Real Madrid, they don't like to do deals this close to the line. When you've got a superstar like that at 100 million. What does it mean for Arsenal, though? It means that Arsenal are really, really interested in bringing Vinicius Jr to the Premier League if a deal can be done. Mikel Arteta and Berta, huge fans of Vinicius Jr. And because he's got that year left, it does mean that there is a possibility on the table where it could be done. At the moment, though, we think Vinicius, his preference would be to stay at Real Madrid. But if a deal can't be agreed, then Arsenal will try and get the player. However, we're talking about someone who's going to command a wage of about £450 to £500,000 a week. Now, Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, they're Arsenal's most paid players at the moment. This would blow that out of the water. But you're talking about, like I said, a Galactico, a real global star, and someone who Mikel Arteta is viewing as someone who can play in that left wing position, because we know they missed out on Morgan Rogers. He was their number one target. He's gone to Chelsea for over 100 million. Might this be the new realistic proposition for Arsenal? It's going to be an interesting week following this one, I think. From
Leonardo Trossard to Vinicius Jr. I mean,
it's big, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Look, remarkable one, talented one. I mean, I don't know what you call him, but what about the special one? Because he's at the heart of this as well. So how does Jose Mourinho fit into all this?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because primarily these two players play in the same position on the left wing. But Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world, I think, can be argued, haven't won the Champions League for a while. La Liga performances have been bad. So Jose Mourinho has been building a bit of a super squad. But it's just how these two can fit in. If we kind of have a look now at where Diomande has been playing the majority or some of his football for RB Leipzig, we know he's a right-footed player that comes in off the left. But actually, if you see it from this graphic here, he has played a lot of his football down the right in the Bundesliga for Leipzig last season. So you could see a world where Vini's here and Diomande's here. But you do think, actually, the way he plays, when you see a lot of his goals, the preference, I think, for Diomande will be to play on this left-hand side. But like we said, if you're trying to build the super squad who can go and win the Champions League, you need competition. Let's have a look where Diomande played his games in the World Cup, where he would have really come onto the big stage, where he would have been seen by a lot of our fans. It's that position that Vinicius Jr takes up. It's that, we see how many goals we see Vinicius Jr in the World Cup come off that side and bend one into the top corner. Diomande, he can do that. He likes to do that. He's both footed, but that is primarily what he likes to do as well. So look, let's see how it would stack up if this deal gets done. Potential deal of over £100 million. This is the sort of thing that Jose Mourinho and his coaches will be wondering, how do I fit all of these guys into the equation? I mean, it's a great problem to have, isn't it? If you want to get the best out of Vinicius, do you have Diomande, who is only, by the way, 19 years old, so maybe not expecting to come in straight in to a Real Madrid squad with the likes of Bellingham, with the likes of Rodrigo, Mbappe. It's quite a big ask for a young man to come in and play alongside Bellingham, play alongside Rodrigo, and just fit in straight away. So, I mean, if you're talking about a role model, that guy is a perfect role model for Diomande. But, I mean, if you see there and there, I think Diomande on the right and Vinicius on the left, Mbappe in the middle, Bellingham just behind. That to me feels like a Champions League winning attack.
So does anyone need to show up then in the Champions League?
I feel for Endrick coming back on loan. He might not. Maybe his minutes might be a little bit reduced.
Looks quite talented, doesn't he? Right, let's talk about one that's a little bit more curious of the transfer stories. This might be reaching a solution. What can you tell us about Tolo Arokadare's future? Yeah, look,
Arokadare, part of a pretty chaotic Wolves team last season, and actually part of a pretty chaotic Wolves story last week, where there was reports that, the striker who, like I said, was relegated with Wolves, actually refused to take part in a training session, which then saw that training session cancelled. That was the reports that were coming out of Wolves. Very immediate outlets were reporting that last week. So it didn't look great for him in terms of carrying on this season, but what we can now tell you is that Ajax look like they've agreed an initial deal with an option to make that permanent at the end of the season for about £17 million. So that will be good news, I think, for Wolves and their dressing room, because so much chaos at the end of the last season. Rob Edwards going at the start of this season when we thought that was, things were looking a bit more plain sailing for Wolves. It's been topsy-turvy, including this little scenario that's been happening.